Paul Morrow is on the ground in Orem, Utah, the site of Charlie's assassination just 2 days ago. First, to correspondent Matt Finn, who joins us on the phone as we get ready for charges to be brought forth. He is in Spanish Fork, Utah, at the Utah County Jail. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Martha, a little bit of breaking news at this hour. We actually ended up outside of the family home where we believe the alleged shooter was staying before he turned himself into police. It's in Washington, Utah, which is near the St. George area. And outside of the family home is a gray Dodge Challenger, which authorities say the alleged shooter drove a Challenger on and off the university before he allegedly assassinated Charlie Kirk. We were surprised to see a Dodge Challenger still sitting here in the driveway of this family home. Not clear if it is the Dodge Challenger, but we were surprised to see one sitting here. We were preparing to go live and show you this all on air, but moments ago, police told us that we had to evacuate the area, that they got some type of concerning information basically directly in front of or around the family home. We're not certain what that concerning information is, but there was also a chopper above, and authorities told us that we had to clear the area. So that's why I'm on the phone right now. We're not able to show you this on camera. But the neighborhood where the family lived in is a nice, middle class to upper class neighborhood in the St. George area, a beautiful scenic area, a well manicured street like so much of this area is. We talked to one neighbor who says she's unfortunately not surprised about the shooting because she says she believes that political violence and hatred has spread all across this country. So we'll keep you updated about what's happening here outside of the family home right now, Martha. Not clear what this pressing information is that authorities got here in the St. George area, Martha.
Okay, Matt, thank you very much. Keep us posted. Any developments outside the family home there as we are learning more and more about this young man and this really tragic, heinous crime that happened 2 days ago. With that, we bring in retired NYPD inspector and attorney Paul Morrow, Fox News contributor. He's live at the campus of Utah Valley University. Paul, good to have you with us today. I know that you've been talking to students on campus. I heard you this morning say that you were impressed with the young people there, and we know that the governor, Spencer Cox, said that he felt the same way, Paul. And I just, to that point, I want to put up these images. These are images from May 2020 after the George Floyd riots in big cities. And then on the right-hand side of your screen, Charlie Kirk's peaceful vigils in recent days. So we're putting those up right now. And you can see just the dramatic difference. And this is what Spencer Cox, the governor, had to say about that, Paul. And then I want to get your reaction.
I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last two nights. There was no rioting, there was no looting, there were no cars set on fire, there was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this.
Paul Morrow, your thoughts as you get deeper into this situation on the campus where it all happened.
Well, the governor is exactly accurate. I've been here now for the last 2 days, wire to wire, and we've talked to a lot of the people here. I was just talking to a group of students here, and they're it sounds strange to say, but they're little adults. They're civically engaged. They're smart. They have considered their political opinions. In fact, two of them just told me we didn't entirely agree with Charlie. But that said, we're out here to support him now, and this is waking people up here and in campuses across the country. Neither one of the two I just spoke to, in fact, were actual Turning Point USA members, but say now they will. And I think the message there is that Charlie Kirk's legacy is only going to grow. And exactly what the alleged shooter, Tyler Robinson, attempted to stamp out is going to have the opposite effect. And it just does show you the power of speech. And these kids are awake to it. I'm hearing it elsewhere in the country through sourcing up at Harvard and other areas that the conservatives, or even just people that are advocates for free speech, are not having this.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see if it fuels that kind of passion and commitment. And we've seen that in prior tragic instances in the United States, thinking back to the civil rights movement and the people who lost their lives to assassination during that period. And Charlie stood for freedom of speech in the country and open dialogue. So we'll see where that goes. I want to play something else for you because I want to draw on your expertise as a police and investigator, as a member of the police and investigator. This is Spencer Cox talking about these messages that were exchanged with a roommate. And can you shed any light, Paul, on this roommate? And is this roommate in the house that we're looking at or somewhere else? Here, let's listen to it first.
The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique.
So what questions does this raise about the roommate and what he or she might have known?
So let's remember, in the Boston Marathon bombing, 2 roommates were arrested subsequent to the death and then arrest of the Tsarnaev brothers because one obstructed justice and one lied to the federal government, which is a crime in the course of an investigation. So this person had better be forthright. And I think the really salient point is that if they develop a co-conspirator from online stuff in Discord or elsewhere, that puts you in a conspiracy bucket federally because the internet gives you federal jurisdiction. And now you have a much stronger federal charge because right now federal charges are a little tenuous. I would opine this is going to be a state death penalty murder case.
Very interesting. We heard from the Governor Cox, who's going to be on with Brett later this evening, that there was no one else charged at this point. But I think that remains an open question as we get more information about this roommate and what he may or may not have known and when. Paul, thank you so much. Paul Morrow on the campus of Utah Valley University. Thanks, Paul.